Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog. This is Car Connections. Make sure you subscribe. Today I want to focus on something that's going on behind the scenes that I think it's getting out of hand, if you ask my personal opinion. It's regarding the Tesla Model 3 that I purchased, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. What I just want to share with you guys is the amount of crazy comments I'm getting on my first couple of posts related to the Model 3, but the comments are all related to politicized view of people related to the car, which is interesting because I just bought the car and honestly I didn't know a lot of this stuff was going on. I just thought it was a great deal. As you guys know, I got a lease. But I didn't know there was a lot of this political turmoil going behind the scenes. I don't watch politics. I don't get involved. But after seeing all these comments on the previous vlogs I dropped related to the Model 3, I'm figuring out very quickly that it is very politicized right now for some reason. Interesting because the left, if you want to call it from a political perspective in the United States, they lean extremely heavily towards the green side of the cars, and yet those folks, based on the research, and again, it could be early. I'm not trying to point fingers here. I'm not trying to make this a political channel, but it's just weird. I have to make sure I call it out. Has now been against everything related to Tesla, and it looks like it's all driven by the CEO, which is Elon Musk, as he's now, I guess, part of the White House, and he's part of this whole team to reduce the inefficiencies within the government, whatever that may be, and it's causing a stir with the folks that I guess used to support him. And now what's interesting is now like the right, because of the person that's in office today, looks like now they're supportive of him. So it's gotten extremely politicized. On my previous vlog, it's out of control, dude. It's crazy, the comments. And again, I just went to Tesla to buy a vehicle. I think most people at the end of the day make decisions based on what impacts them, but it looks like buying a car like this is overshadowed by that because of the polarization when it comes to political views. I started doing more research as to why were people doing all these comments specifically to this Model 3. I started finding out a lot of things that folks are doing to these cars right now. And of course, you guys probably know this, or folks that are about to make comments related to this vlog as to why they feel a certain way. And again, I'm not trying to choose sides. I just bought the car because it's a hell of a deal. $329 on a lease, guys, for 2 years. You're getting a lot. It's tremendous value and low maintenance. That was the intent. If you've been following my channel, I've had several Teslas. In 2020, I had a Plaid. I've owned several Teslas, and I think just right now, because again, the current structure within our government, it's creating a lot of noise and a lot of comments that are, again, to be fair, really over the top. Lots of vandalism has been happening with these cars, guys, as I just showed you guys at the beginning of the vlog. As I started doing a little deeper dive, and again, I just don't get involved in politics. I try to stay as far away from it because it can get, when you get that, it can sometimes be, very, you can create biases sometimes. And so it's important to understand that you want to stay in the middle, never lean to left or to the right, just because, you never know who's right, guys, right? Everybody tries to have their own view on what's right and what's wrong from a political perspective. And I tend to stay away from it. And all I try to do is, better my personal life, do things that I can influence in my little world, right? Because everybody has their own little world. And so, I go to work, I bust ass, I try to be an impact in the community. I pay my taxes. I'm blessed to be in the United States, and so even though a lot of the political sides can shift due to our political system every 4 years or sometimes every 8, people will create certain things. And so it's just very interesting how Tesla, the brand, has really become so polarized to the point that I even checked their stock. I'm not an investor in Tesla, but even the stock has taken a major dive. I mean, you're seeing people turn in their Tesla cars to buy other EV cars that are not Tesla. There's a lot of vandalism going on these cars. I started doing more research. I mean, folks are burning these cars, vandalizing the dealerships or the delivery centers from Tesla. It's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild how a brand like that can create so much hate from a specific side. Again, I won't go into all the views as to why, but I just want people to know that I bought this car. It wasn't a political move, guys. I just bought this car because I thought it was a great deal and I've owned these cars. So, you know, I get it. I get why you might feel that way, but just know that the car was purchased under the intent of just buying the car. I'm a big car guy, and it brings so much value to me. And it's going to be the car that my son ultimately will learn how to drive. And that's it, right? And I move on from that. But it's just crazy, you know, the things that are happening with this brand. You know, to the point that I was reading an article that the insurance premiums on these cars have already gone up almost 50% because people are vandalizing these cars. And so there's a lot going on, to the point that even, you know, there's folks showing up at Tesla superchargers, and somebody has actually cut the wires of the superchargers so you're unable to charge your vehicle. I mean, it's pretty extreme. There's a lot of protests going on specifically to this car, and so it's just wild. I had to post something just because I don't want to neglect a lot of the comments, and I just want you to wanted to share a personal view. My personal view is I just bought a car, and it's getting so politicized that it's pretty crazy. So be as it may, just share that, you know, I know there's a lot of people that are subscribed to my channel that are probably from both sides, even who knows what side. And I know I have a lot of people that are not even from the United States, period, who would care less about what our political views are here. I just bought a car with tremendous value. That's it. And it does a lot of things great. What's going on, what's happening, maybe call me naive of staying away from the political, you know, spectrum. But I think honestly, just based on my experience many years ago, all political stuff creates division. There's a lot of division, a lot of separation, and it almost creates folks to fight against one another, when at the end of the day, we're one country. We're blessed to be in the place we are, to be able to have the freedoms we have here. And that's the way I look at it. And that's the value I see in it, period. And that's it. I'll leave it as at that, guys. And I know even this might even create some turmoil. Who knows? But as always, guys, I appreciate the support for the channel. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification button. That's it, guys. Peace.